Hey there, YouTubers and collectors. Salvador Los Angeles here with my video review of UFC action figures made by Jakks Pacific. This is Series 2. These are 3 out of the 5 guys that are featured in Series 2. Here we have Alistair Overeem, Junior Dos Santos with championship belt, and Cain Velasquez, former champion. Even though this is called Series 2, this may be called Series 2B because they formerly had a Series 2. They went a Series 0 through 9 and then started all over again with 1, and now here we are at Series 2. These are Kmart exclusives, only to be found at Kmart or at a super inflated rate on eBay right now. Alistair Overeem features the Kmart sticker along with the British flag, and it says Alistair Overeem, the Ream. Junior Dos Santos features the Brazilian flag, the Kmart sticker, a championship belt. Junior Dos Santos is also known as Cigano. I never heard that one. Cain Velasquez has the American flag and features the Kmart sticker. He does not have a nickname. He does not have a nickname. Let's look at the back of these packages. They are all different, which is cool. If you guys remember the old figures, it was always Keith Jardine getting beaten up. Well, this time it looks like they have actually taken actual moments from real fights. For example, on Cain Velasquez, it shows him beating Brock Lesnar. Also features some statistics. I'll zoom in a second. Now here is Junior Dos Santos beating Cain Velasquez to obtain the title. And now here is Alistair Overeem beating up Brock Lesnar. I think there's a little controversy here because if you guys remember, after this fight where Alistair Overeem beats Brock Lesnar, he tested positive for steroids and then was suspended for a while. But meanwhile, he deserves a figure? Okay, all right. In addition to Junior Dos Santos, Alistair Overeem, Cain Velasquez is Anderson Silva and Lyoto Machida. I did not get these 2 figures because I already have other versions of them in previous series, so I did not get them. Not to mention, it was a little bit upsetting to me. Junior Dos Santos, you know, I respect him as he's the heavyweight champ, no doubt about it. But Junior Dos Santos has only defended his title once, and you see here that his figure has a belt, whereas Anderson Silva has defended his title, what, 12 times? And yet this figure, as part of Series 2, does not have a belt. What the hell? If I were Anderson Silva, I would have demanded a belt as part of this series. Anyway, I did not get the Spider or the Dragon. This is the back of Cain Velasquez. He's from Yuma, Arizona, USA, age 29, height 6'1", weight 240. And then it has that little graph there. Submissions, 11%, striking, 42%, takedowns, 47%. Going over here to Junior Dos Santos. From Santa Catarina, Brazil, age 28, height 6'4", weight 238. And the stats are striking 85% and takedowns 15%. And what was the other one? Oh, submissions. 0 submissions. Okay, so he doesn't submit anybody, I guess. Moving over to Alistair Overeem. He is from Hounslow, England. I could have sworn he was Dutch. I always thought he was Dutch. Age 32, height 6'5", weight 256. And the stats are submissions 31%, striking 41%, and takedowns 28%. So the packaging is really cool. These are made by Jakks Pacific, licensed by Zuffa, who owns the UFC. That is the Fertitta brothers. This is, for my viewers, you'll be happy to know I do know a fair amount about the UFC. So it's not like when I review a figure and I haven't seen the movie. I'm a big fan of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And that's why Anderson Silva should have a belt. All right, special bonus in this review, folks. Special bonus. We have the man himself, Mr. Dana White. I believe this was a Ringside Collectibles exclusive. This is not labeled a particular series. This is Dana White's figure, which features a belt. He gets a belt. Anderson Silva doesn't get a belt, but Dana White gets a belt. Go figure that one out. Dana White, UFC president. I must admit, I do like Dana White. He's the only corporate president who cusses. Imagine seeing the president of Ford or General Electric cussing at a press conference. That would be funny. But here he is on the back, looking quite dapper. with the cage behind him. Doesn't have his usual jeans and t-shirt look. This is Salvador Los Angeles reviewing UFC Series 2 by Jakks Pacific, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, Alistair Overeem, and special bonus UFC President Dana White. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let's get it on! And here they all are, out of their packaging. Cain Velasquez, Dana White, Junior Dos Santos, and Alistair Overeem. Dana White comes with a UFC Championship Belt, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice looking belt. If I do recall, there was a little controversy regarding UFC President's body. I believe some fans, particularly WWE fans, believe that this body was used. I don't know if it was Vince McMahon or some other WWE guy. This body was used for his figure a few years back, and so they just rehashed the body, maybe gave it a repaint, and now it is Dana White. He does have a jacket that would come off if you were to try to take it off. Jacket comes off. A rather plain figure, but I think it is just nice to have a representation of Dana White, but I do think the figure is a little bit plain. Articulation in the head. Pretty decent articulation in the head all over the place. Shoulder, ball joint, also upper arm swivel, bicep hinge, wrist swivel and hinge. Same on the other side. On the right arm he has a fist, waist twist, hip back and forth, knee bend, and then hinge joint at the ankle. I think a Dana White figure is cool. Before I continue, I just would like to commend Jakks Pacific. Jakks Pacific doesn't get much kudos. It's all about Mattel, right? It's all about Mattel and WWE. But let me tell you something. These figures maintain $9.99 at retail. I'm assuming that has to do with Jakks. $9.99. How much have we seen the WWE figures go up since Mattel took over? A lot. We've been seeing the figures go up a lot. Jakks Pacific still holds the license to Deluxe Impact Wrestling figures, and those are still $9.99. So at retail, these figures are $9.99. For a deluxe articulate figure, a much better deal than any WWE Elite. Now, he was not $9.99, though, I don't believe. I think he was a little bit more, being a Ringside Collectibles exclusive, I believe. There is Mr. Dana White. 5 o'clock shadow. He also has a fist, and that would be some of my issue with the other fighters, why they don't have fists. And there is the UFC Championship Belt. Pretty nice. You can kind of wear this as a bracelet. That's kind of cool, but see how it is there. But if you can get that to stay, that's kind of a fun bracelet, right? Kind of neat. Let's bring up Alistair Overeem. Now, once I get into the articulation of all of these figures, meaning Junior, Cain, and Alistair, the articulation is the same on all the figures. In fact, aside from a small detail in the lower legs, I believe all the bodies are actually the same bodies. Remember, all these guys are heavyweights. The bodies are, I believe, are the same, just merely painted differently. I think that's the only difference. Articulation is, we got a double jointed shoulder, so it can go way back there like that and go forward like so. So a double joint there, and then this ball joint as well can swivel, and then this can swivel, and then bicep is a hinge, and then wrist is a hinge and a swivel. Yes, same thing on both sides. The hands are not made into fists. I think that they should have put some articulation so we can get a fist, or possibly, I can't believe I'm saying this, charge me an extra $1 or $2 and give us an extra pair of hands that we can click in there and make fist. Otherwise, if we don't have any articulation, essentially these fighters are not punching. They're ready to grab. They're ready to grapple. And then he has the ab crunch. Then he has a twist. Then he has a nice bitch joint there. And he twists nicely. Double jointed knee. And hinge at the ankle. Elite, MMA Elite on the shorts. Hayabusa. I think that's his signature. Yeah, Overeem signature. Blue Grace Microtech Hayabusa looks like there too. AO Mixed Martial Arts. All right, guys, here is the likeness. There is Alistair Overeem. I gotta say, this series, I think they've done a great job on the likenesses. The likenesses, yeah, I'll take it. I really think they've done a great job. I got no complaints. Pretty good. Let's look at the top of the head there. All right, pretty nice. So, if Alistair Overeem would just piss clean, then, he might have a shot at the title. Maybe give Junior Dos Santos a run for his money. He does have a real lifelike quality on the face, I must admit. They did a great job. I don't know if they're using different face scans or sculptors. I don't know what the hell they're doing over there at Jakks, but great looking likeness here. Very nice. Next up, we have Mr. Cain Velasquez. Right off the bat, you see the different color. Here's his torso color, and then there's his arms. Just literally a different color, a little more pink. Or maybe a little more tannish pink, a little more brown here. So the brown pride would refer to his arms. Oh! All right, I'll be here all week. Same exact articulation. So we're just going to go ahead and show him off there. And then we're going to zoom in. Look at those triceps, my God. Milwaukee Tools. RBP. Dethrone. TDN. Lugs. MMA Elite. Microtech. TDN. I think that's TDN. Is that Zions? I don't know what that one is. ATI. All right, guys, here it goes. Cain Velasquez likeness. Pretty good, man. I mean, I just don't see that it could be any better. I mean, I think they did a great job on these faces. And I'm going to tell you right now, if they would have come out with figures other than Anderson Silva and Lyoto Machida, I would have got the other two. I would have picked up the entire set. Anderson Silva and Lyoto Machida are kind of like John Cena and Rey Mysterio are to the WWE line. Look at that ear. Nice looking cauliflower ear. Great job, Jakks. Great job on these face scans. Very realistic. But what's with the discoloration, the multitude of colors? I do not get it. And there is the Brown Pride tattoo. Brown Pride. If you remember when he fought Brock Lesnar, people made it a real racial issue. They did. They made it a. You should. I went to go see that UFC in the movie theater because for those of you fans who are unaware, sometimes the UFC is actually playing in movie theaters. Look it up. Fathom Events. FATHOM events. FathomEvents.com will occasionally have the UFC in theaters. And let me tell you something. Once you've seen the UFC on the big screen, aside from being there in great seats, when you see it on the big screen at the movie theater, that's the way to go. So I saw Cain Velasquez beat Brock Lesnar on the big screen, and oh boy, the racial tension was thick. And there is a Virgin Mary sighting. I'm calling the papers. I see the Virgin Mary on my action figure. Get it? All right, nice. Great job with Cain. Mr. Junior Dos Santos. Again, same articulation, which makes my job easier. Here he is with his belt. I got no problem with people who are champs having belts. I think it's great, but I'm just wondering, why don't they all have belts? I don't even think any previous George St. Pierre figures had belts. I just don't get it. There's the belt. We saw it earlier with Dana. Same exact belt. Is it? Yeah, I think it's the same belt. Let's look. Actually, I think Dana White's belt is a little bit darker gold. This is Junior's a little bit lighter gold. So I guess they went with a little bit of a lighter paint later. Okay, Junior Dos Santos. Let's zoom in to the sponsorship on the shorts. Praetorian TOTVS. Renato Saratava. A lot of this stuff is in Portuguese, I guess. I don't even know what the hell it says. Team Nogueira. That I do get. Praetorian. Praetorian Annalise. I can't tell what that says, but it looks like boxing gloves. Praetorian. Praetorian. Possibly a gym or a camp. All right, folks, here he is. People have been waiting for this figure. A little more hair than he really has, I believe. Great looking cauliflower ears. Phenomenal head sculpt. Jakks Pacific, you guys knocked it out of the park on this series. These figures have great looking, realistic. And by realistic, I mean not only do they look like the people, but I mean they look lifelike. So really great job. Again with the two-tone. I just don't get that. I don't know why that's happening. Let's keep these figures realistic. Recently NECA made the Rocky figures. I have a video or two on those Rocky figures, I believe. They put nipples on the fighters. Rocky has nipples. These guys do not have nipples. These are more like Ken dolls. You know what? Maybe we're at a time in history where we can put nipples on the male shirtless figures just to add the element of realism. My final gripe is the fact that none of these guys have fists. They have the open hands. Let's put some of these guys into fists. I mean, you can kind of create the illusion of a fist, if he's punching, that's the illusion of a fist. But we should either have articulation in the knuckles or additional hands to make into fists. Just to reiterate, I believe these are all the same bodies, just with different paint and obviously the tattoos on Cain. It looks like Junior Dos Santos and Alistair Overeem have the same lower leg, but Cain Velasquez's leg is just a little bit shorter, and the calves are a little bit skinny. All right, guys, this has been my review of Jakks Pacific UFC Series 2 action figures, Alistair Overeem, the champ Junior Dos Santos, Dana White, and Cain Velasquez. And guys, stay tuned to the UFC because Cain Velasquez is trying to get the title back from Junior Dos Santos. I believe it's on the 28th or the 29th. Yeah, the 29th of this month. They will be fighting, and Cain Velasquez is going to try to get the title back from Junior Dos Santos. And my advice is for Cain Velasquez to get Junior Dos Santos on the ground. Get him on the ground, and then you may have a chance. Standing, we may have a repeat of what happened last time. So this is both a review and a prediction. Thanks for watching, guys, and Happy New Year. Anderson Silva should have a belt.